from Chicago. Nick was in Zayo. And don't forget about Steven. His ass is from Boston. Welcome to Coffee and Hardcore.
Blup! What's up, everybody? It's Wally Willis, bitches! I'm back. And I'm with Mick Cox. What's up, Mick? Give me a yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Steven Erkscopa. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back on the podcast. Everyone stop listening to me now. They all tuned out.
This is crazy. We're all here at the same time. It's amazing.
For the first time in months. How many months?
Since when? November of last year? Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. What is it now? Like May or something?
Yeah, it's May. I don't even, and the sad thing is I don't even remember what episode we're on. I guess it'd be easy to figure out. It's episode 5 because it's May. It's the 5th month, so it'd be episode 5. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! You're smarter than I am.
I figured it out.
What season though? What season we on?
3.
We're on season 3.
All right, there you go. See,
yeah,
it's all coming together.
I think this is our 22nd or 23rd episode too.
Holy cow!
Right. Yeah,
we're
wrap
like
your head around that.
We're like season pros now. Okay, maybe not.
You got. Oh, by the way, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
You guys are killing it. You're doing good. I've been listening for the last, what was that, 4 or 5 months as a fan.
Yeah.
So good. You guys are. I think killing it came to mind because I think you guys say killing it like 1,000 times per episode.
we need to make a
killer.
a coffee right killer. We need to make a coffee and a hardcore meme and like it just that's
killer.
I actually have a new rating system for albums, and it's by Killers.
By Killers?
Yeah, you'll see that later on.
Killers. That album's 5 killers.
And it's just the slasher like night,
right?
Like from horror movies. That's how many of those
from Halloween.
Yes. Gosh. Well,
yo, I'm drinking coffee right now.
Are you allowed to drink coffee this late?
I have to. I work until like 10.
Oh, that's right.
I gotta stay up. My ass gotta stay up.
Your life is like turned upside down. First kid pops out and it's like all crazy.
Yeah, and then my work gets insane.
Right.
So it's been weird. It's all right though. We adapt,
We won't say which band has been causing you so much heartache and headache and all that jazz. We won't mention who they're with or without.
Without you?
Yeah.
Without me?
Without you? Without me? Without them? I don't know. We're not going to mention it.
Without the 6th farewell tour?
Yes.
Everyone listening's like, huh?
Some will figure it out.
You may not be so busy without them.
It's true. Right? Which I don't want to be this busy. Anyways.
Gosh. Yeah. So this show, right, is pretty jam-packed. We've had some pretty crazy shows lately. I'm not gonna lie. And we have crazier ones coming.
We do.
Yeah.
Can we say, or if we say it, we jinx ourselves?
I don't know. I see. That's the thing. I feel like maybe we should tell people because, like, I'm kind of blown away who's coming up next.
Let's do it.
Like, who's on the show today, and then who's coming up in the future. Like,
yeah. Tell everybody who's on the show today.
Well, on this month's show, we have Scott from Zayo. He's on here. So yeah.
Big deal. Did you and Steven do that chat together?
We did.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. I'm glad that worked out because at first it was just supposed to be you and Scott.
Right.
Yep.
The old Zayo and the new Zayo, which he's not really new Zayo. He's middle Zayo, right?
Yeah. Well, he's been in there as longer than any of the original guys. So
yeah, it's true.
It was cool stuff, fun guy.
Cool stuff, fun guy. Yeah, you said that to me. I was like, what is he, an 80s computer? Cool stuff, fun guy.
I was in a Zayo sandwich.
That's awesome. So Mick, before we get off track, who do we got coming up next?
On the next show,
Yeah, you got it.
we have 108 coming up next.
Yeah, man.
Which is
Woo!
crazy.
And who's after that? Next
After
month.
that is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the big dog from Slapshot.
Slapshot. That's right.
Yeah. Like
And
what?
then should we even go farther and say we got someone else?
I don't remember who we have coming in August. Honestly, I don't.
We got we won't say the names of the people, but we got he was in Judge, Shelter, Youth
Yeah.
of Today,
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Bold.
great. Yeah. Yeah. So seriously, it's like we've got 108, Slapshot, Judge, Bold.
And Wiley, you talked to Leo from Big Laugh, like a 2-part interview on this episode.
to sit down with Leo. Yeah.
Crazy episode. This one and the ones coming up.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
what-
we got a coffee review coming up. Steven sent Mick and I some coffee from Slack Tide. That was really nice of you. Thank you.
Black Tide.
What else we got? We got some super awesome album reviews.
Yes.
I'm doing Squint. Mick, you're doing,
Be well.
and Steven, you're doing,
Discourage.
and
And we got Mark Allen Bradley from Disappear on.
that's right.
It's a crazy show.
He's talking about his new record that is so good.
Yes, it is. It's pretty killer. So it's kind of
is.
crazy too because, we're gonna be talking about.
Can we do a killer count every time someone says killer? It goes ding, and like at the end of the episode, it tallies how many killers have
How
been
many
said.
killers? That's too much work.
Oh.
But we're going to be reviewing the Discourage album, which Matt plays drums in Discourage, and he's also
Mhm.
in the band Tuning.
Oh.
And Tuning album. Remember the last Tuning album has, a sailing ship on it. And the
Yes.
Disappear record has a sailing ship on it. And I know we were all joking around when that Disappear album came out. We were like, which ship album sounds better?
Oh.
Right.
Did we come to a conclusion or?
I don't think so. I think it was a good toss up. We were like, I
Okay.
like both of these. So yeah, awesome.
There's one thing I will say about the Discourage record is I just ordered that, but it's so good. And it's weird because this is when I went, because we're doing a project with the drummer,
Yeah.
Matt, but
Yeah.
we're not allowed to say what project it is yet.
Right.
In case things don't work out or whatever. But and when I heard that, he sent it to me, and I was just like, dude, it's so good that it makes me go like, why do you want to do projects with us? like, have you ever had that before?
Right.
Like someone said
Oh,
you
yeah.
something and you're like, dude, this is so good. Like, why do you want to be doing anything with us, man?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
know.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm excited. So great.
There's a ton of music on this one. It's crazy.
I know.
Well,
It's
jam-
there's so
jam-packed.
much good hardcore coming out right now.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm
We've
going
been-
broke just trying to
I know. That's the sad thing. It's like there's
Right.
way too much music, way too many records, too many
No,
variants.
great records though. It's
I know,
like
yeah,
it's
great
records you
records.
have to buy.
Right. So,
It
and that's
sucks
that's a good problem to have, I guess.
Well, for those bands, not for us.
Right.
Because usually I'm like,
Uh,
okay, this record's really good. I have to buy it.
right.
You know,
Right.
it's like records, sons, diapers.
Exactly.
Records.
Awesome.
Okay. Just
All right.
kidding.
So you want to get into this?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
All right,
let's
here
go into the Disappear talk.
All right. Here we go.
Hey everyone, this is Mark from Disappear. We have a new record out on Another City Records called Burn the Ships. We started recording for this record in 2019 on the heels of our full-length Momentum. I think it was our old guitar player, Mickey, who came up with the title. We knew what we wanted to title it, but we didn't really have any idea that these songs would end up conforming to that name. In July of 2020, we began tracking drums, and towards the middle of the session, Mickey got a call that his dad had suffered what they thought was a stroke. And he finished doing the recording and then set off to Chicago. Unfortunately, it turned out that it was brain cancer, and his dad passed away a few months later. So at this point, things were kind of put off and on hiatus with COVID and with the passing of his dad. Finally, in late 2020, early 21, tracking resumed, and we were able to finalize everything that summer. And fast forward to today, and we're finally getting this thing out. So the title Burn the Ships actually comes from a legend about Spanish conquistadors burning their entire fleet when they landed on enemy soil. And essentially the saying goes that there's no turning back. And we thought, what better way to really encapsulate what this record means than to have imagery that sort of reflects that. So we decided to commission the work of Paulo Girardi, who does the artwork for Power Trip. And, we had a concept in mind. We told him that we wanted to basically have a few ships that were wrecked and burning, and the rest was up to him. We just kind of let him take the wheel. Oddly enough, our friends in the other band, Tuning, have similar artwork, and we get asked about this quite a bit, or people seem to think that ours was inspired by theirs. That's not the case at all. It's just a funny coincidence that we have similar themes.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Wiley. This is my Disappear review. Sorry if I'm talking kind of low. I got the boy, baby Otto, sleeping in the other room. So I'm gonna try to make this quick and try to make it as quiet as possible. But Disappear, Burn the Ships, 15 tracks. I know I think it gets released sometime this month in May. Mark sent me all the details. Let's say May 27th, maybe. I do know that the pre-orders are up. They actually went up today. So when this drops, they'll be up for a couple weeks probably. But I am really digging this record. I'm so glad he sent this to me early. Most bands are releasing EPs and singles in 2022. And Disappear said, nope, Burn the Ships, 15 tracks. And for some reason, our attention spans, they don't really exist anymore. And so that's why people are releasing, 3 songs, singles, or 5 to 6 song EPs. But Disappear was like, you know what? We're going old school. We're dropping 15 tracks. And none of the songs get old or stale for me at all. I honestly thought it might get kind of stale after 10 tracks, and it still holds my attention all the way through. The tough and yelling, shouting vocals by Mark Allen Bradley are so good. He upped his game on this. But he also did a record before this record with another band called Unblind, and he seriously delivers on that record. I still to this day have to say that that's my favorite performance from Mark Allen Bradley vocally, but this record does not disappoint because the music is solid and the vocals fit perfectly with the music. It's like he was very self-aware of how the vocals should sound and go on this record. They fit perfect. And the Unblind vocals fit perfect for that record, but his vocal performance on Unblind, his side project, is phenomenal. If you haven't heard that other record, go listen to Unblind. It's a must listen. The guitars on this record on Burn the Ships are very melodic and early 2000s hardcore meets metalcore in the best way possible. And that is a serious compliment. I am a sucker for the guitars on this record. I love them. They're so good. They're so heavy. They're so crunchy. They're melodic. They're great. All the music works together so well. And I told Mark Allen Bradley this, but when Bitter Truth released their newest album, I told them it was going to take them places, and it definitely did. This album that they're releasing, that Disappear is releasing, gives me those same vibes and same feeling. This record is next level, and this record is going to take them places. It has so many clips on it, and I'm a sucker for clips. And in the band 2 Minute Minor that I do vocals for, I would have so many clips if my bandmates let me have them in there. But they're always like, no, there's too many. Take some out. But this reminds me of a record. If I had free range with clips on a 2 Minute Minor record, this is what it would sound like. It would have this many clips. To me, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So I get it and I love it. Let's drop the song Crisis for the listeners because that's the single. Let's drop Crisis now. Boom. Hope I didn't wake the boy.
Martians of death, our nation asleep, with a needle in its vein.
Service at this time. Please check your directory and dial again. Oh no. Party on, dude.
All right, so this is a pretty crazy moment right now. I'm excited. I know Steven's excited. Wiley has already sent me a bunch of stuff about how excited he is. We've got Scott from Zao with us this time around.
It's still so weird to me to say that, especially when I'm on with you. That's not like, it just doesn't work. It's like, doesn't compute in my head, but yeah, it's Scott and Mick.
Yes, I know, it's weird, right?
Right.
At the same time, it's cool.
Yeah, it's so strange. Oh.
So how's it going, man?
Well, after the last week, it's going great. So,
right.
We are glad you're feeling better. That's the good thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, man. Everybody out there, I hope if they get it, get over it, and then we'll be all happy for it.
Right. So I was racking my brain. I was trying to think about the first time you and I were in the same room together.
Okay.
And so I went this is way back, and I don't know if I have one of your old bands right or not. It might be different. But the first time I remember hanging out was all the way back in Canton, Ohio, in a show that was like in a warehouse.
Okay. Yep.
And was it Chapter or was it a different band?
It was Chapter. Yes.
I remember.
You got it right.
It was Chapter.
because it was this crazy show with all these machines around us. And I remember, I can't remember all the bands that played. I remember you guys played. I remember the old school Zayo played and some other bands, but it was just weird being around all these machines. But I just remember just my first impression of seeing at your guitar work was holy crap. What in the world? And then of course your bass player was nuts for Chapter. So that was always interesting. But yeah, man, that's like my first memory of actually being in the same room. So
Yep, I totally, because there were like, well, there were a few shows, because I remember when we played out of state with you guys, and then you guys came to like Greensburg area, wherever.
Yep.
And I already remember meeting you, because I think I talked to you and Jesse most out of everybody at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember, then you guys came to, I think it was Illusions probably back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and because I remember meeting you guys out first, and then you guys came and we like had like, hey, we like just played show with you, man. So, but, it's man, that time frame. It's so crazy to think about all that stuff.
I know, because honestly, I remember, all the way back then, like how weird it was that all the connections that we had like out west, like all dried up because those guys were no longer in bands anymore, like Strong Arm and Unashamed. That all ended, and then we got into this weird period of not knowing, and then we met you guys, and then for me at least, that's like when the whole Pennsylvania thing happened.
Yep.
Like, because we played way more in Pennsylvania than anywhere else at that time, at least up until I was gone. Like that was like Chapter and Passover and Blindside and Stower and Seasons in the Field and Pensive, which some of those guys are all
everything. It's all a big family now, right, Nick?
Yes, I know, it's crazy. And so like I don't know, it's just so crazy to look back through all of that, and then there's just still this weird connection with all of us, like even though it's like years apart, it's like they're still like, oh yeah, it's like your brother's in town or something. It's just really, it's really cool.
I love it. I feel the same way about it too, and I think that's what's so cool. It sounds like we're old. Like I'm going to say the old man thing,
right?
But it just doesn't seem like that. The scene today is like that. Like for us back then, the scene is like that. Like all the people, like all the bands and all the people you meet back then. Like you create a relationship with them because of like, it's basically you guys against the world. Nobody's there really helping you. So like those relationships and friendships are forged, and they just seem like, it just seems so like, and there's not like even like a sentimentality or nostalgia. It's just like, you meet these people and you have this really cool bond, and it just kind of lasts forever. And it's just, it's really, really neat. Yeah. I totally agree. And then, cause that's like all that whole, like back then, like all the bands that I've played with in that time period are like, if I see those people, it's like a family reunion every time I see them.
Right. It's like I hadn't talked to any of the guys in Passover forever. And then they started like this Butler scene Facebook group.
I saw,
like, I was like, what? And so I commented on one thing, and the next thing I know, I'm getting messages from the guys in Passover, and I'm like, what's going on, guys? Like, this is so awesome. So it's just crazy. That it just shows you, like, I know you throw the word scene around, but that's what it was more than that. It's like connections were made and relationships started, and it's like you don't see people forever, and then you run across them on social media or run into them like by chance at a gas station. You're like, hold on, what? And all those memories, and it's like it was like one big huge family back then.
I agree. It's awesome. I love it.
That actually runs into a question of mine. So I gotta throw this out there real quick. And longtime Zayo fan here. Wrap this around your head, Mick, as well. 3 decades. Like it's almost 3 decades that the band's, I hate to say survived, but lasted and grown. So I'm curious. You guys are talking about those connections and the relationships and stuff, but what do you think kept Zayo going over those 3 decades? Like, if I could hear a little bit of like your side, because you're in it. It'd definitely be interesting to hear.
You know, and I think about this a lot because it seems like it's like this weird like special thing that's really hard. Honestly, I think it's just that like none of us want to do anything else because I think that's usually what ends up happening.
Right.
Like bands eventually get members in them that like they're just like, okay, we're done with this, and it doesn't, you know, like, and it's not like financially like Zayo's this thing that like you do as a job. It's just like I think
Right.
like all of us just this is the thing we have been known for long enough, and we all still want to do it, and we just keep kind of you just put your head down and you keep doing it. And I think too, like what maybe helps us is how we came from that scene, Mick. Like, because you just, I mean, we're in the situation now where it's like a total cycle. So like Zayo, you guys, the original Zayo, like got out there and started touring and got eyes on it from like Tooth and Nail and all that kind of thing. And then Tooth and Nail gets interested. Then you have label support, and then that label puts you in front of people that you wouldn't have been able to put yourself in front of. And then all of a sudden now this thing that you have at home that was yours is now like growing and people pay attention. And then whatever happens, like situations happen with members. So members leave, members stay, whatever it's going to be. And then the band kind of evolves, like with all the member changes that happen. And it still has all this kind of thing behind it, kind of growing it. And we definitely, I think the band today, no matter, I mean, we always make sure to always say this, but like the band today does not exist without all that work. And right. You know, all the original members, all the labels that have put Zayo out, we totally recognize how that is totally why we were able to do what we do now. But then it kind of gets to the point where like when we were doing it for a long time, we took a break, and then we start writing some songs, and we're like, so what are we going to do with these songs? Most bands would have taken whatever demo they had and like maybe send it to a couple labels that they're friends with and see if somebody wants to put it out. We had those discussions when we started kind of thinking about what we were going to do when we came back in 2015 or 2014. And the labels that we had marked off that would possibly we would have interest in working with were, you know, we couldn't commit to the type or level of touring. You know, we couldn't do all these things. So those things all fall apart. But always in the back of our head, we were like, well, we can just do this on our own. Because I mean, all that stuff, all those years of work that, you know, from whatever 93 or whatever you guys, when you guys started, all those years of work, like put a name out there that the name itself is known. And so what we're able to do now is totally because of all that. But it works out in a way because now we're just like on our own terms. And I do think if we wouldn't be able to do it the way we do it now, I don't even know if we would still be doing it. I think that it has to be this way for us now because we've had so much interference from different people telling you how to run your band. And it's really nice to kind of be in charge of how things go. So like, we really do have the hand in how, I mean, obviously everybody wants records to be successful, but we have like a realistic viewpoint of what our records need to do to be successful. And all of them have surpassed it for ourselves. That doesn't mean you're selling hundreds of thousands of records. It means you're selling enough records that like things keep moving. So I really think it's, and you see like surviving is the best way to put it. Like, I think that, you know, it's a struggle, but it's a struggle that you like enjoy.
It's a different struggle because I'm sure every decade has been a different struggle. So, you know, and so much has changed over the years. You know?
I think another thing that has helped us, and I try to like, because I think about this kind of stuff. I mean, every once in a while, like I just pops into my head, but like it still seems like the style of music we play, this like extreme version of metal, it hasn't gone like, not that it like, because everything goes in and out of style, but it's never gotten to a point where like it was so mainstream that it just became like the thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, there's like the Kill Switches and like Slipknots and all that stuff, but metal has always existed.
Right.
And I think like this extreme style of music, like I think that really helps the band stay moving, because like when you listen to like older records, you know, you can put older Zao records on and it doesn't really sound super different from what's happening today. Because it's real, like, because that kind of stuff never really like, it's not a style of music that becomes like a mainstreamed thing. It's always going to be a thing that like it stays underground and it has like its certain, you know, fan base. And I think that helps out a lot too, because then you never feel like, oh well, we're doing this thing that sounds like dated, because it's really never had its due. Yeah.
I think it's crazy that you guys and not saying that you guys don't have bad moments or moments where you're like, oh, I'm just done, but you guys have stayed pretty positive. Because if anybody's had moments where you're like, you know what, screw this, because I know there's been some stuff that's happened, some stuff with some labels or whatever, and it's real easy to get like, you know, jaded or whatever. But you guys have pretty much stayed like pretty positive and all that, and being like, okay, well, we'll do it this way.
Yeah,
and I think that's why guys stick with you so much. You're like, okay, well, let's go, we'll do it this way.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know, man, it's hard to explain. I don't view music success maybe in the way that other people do. Like, to me, being able to just even have the ability to do it's the success. So like, you know, like, and I know, you know, when certain time periods, and it's really easy, Mick, I'm sure you knew, like, it's really easy to have those people talking to you about like how, oh, if you guys do this tour, you're going to do this, or if you guys do this record, if you sing on one little part of the song, like, so like all that stuff kind of like gets in your brain. And then when you do these things, and they usually are like stupid and they never work, but you do them and then the band never really gets any bigger, or you do the tour that like really beat you down, but it never really got you any bigger. So like I always looked at being in the band, like even when I joined originally, like I always looked at it like, wow, the success for me is like I'm doing it. It's not that like we got bigger. It's not like, oh, I'm now not having a job, or it's not any of that stuff. Cause like, dude, we all like West Virginia, Pennsylvania, like our whole like little tri-state area, dude, we're all like blue collar, low income, just do what you got to do, you know, like scrappers. So being in a band, are you kidding me? That's like, dude, I watched my dad dig ditches and all that kind of thing. Like, and I've done that. Or like, I don't know if any of you guys ever work at construction work, or dude, I've done some manual labor jobs in my life that I'll be like, you know what? I might not make a ton of money, but if I'm just going to be twiddling a string here, I'm going to kind of like, this is what I want to focus on.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I just think we grew up in this area, and being in a band is a weird, not like normal thing. And it's a privilege to be able to do it. So
awesome. How's the last album doing? I know it's been in a year. Is it how long it's been?
Yeah, we were trying to get it out right in 2020, and then
right.
So 2021 came, and we were just, look, everybody's going to be holding back because they don't think they can tour. So we like lucked out and just said, you know what, we don't tour that much anyway, so let's just put the record out. So we no, it has done exactly what we were hoping. You know, we budget everything out in a way that like we're never in the red. We press enough records that we know we can move, and then we budget on how some of them, because like, you know, with the full length records, we like to have them just always at press. So if you do like, you know, we try to like press 2 or 3 different like really cool variant colors that those variant colors like make your whole thing. So if you're sitting on like a black or like or
Right.
clear vinyl or whatever. If you're sitting on those for a little tiny bit, it's okay, because then like, okay, well, we want Crimson to be able to be sold every show and all that kind of stuff. So, and you know, so we budgeted out. Jeff has an unbelievable, just like, he's just really good with all that kind of stuff. He's really good. We have great relationships with like all the different companies that do our stuff. Our pricing for like our vinyl pressing is really reasonable. We work with the same company that's done all of our records, like pressing them, and they've always been great and timely and all that kind of thing. You know, Holy Mountain has done unbelievable stuff for us. And there's always like, we have a ton of like there's friends that we have that have helped us along the way. I mean, Jeff has all these little like people that are in the music industry that will like bounce things off of to kind of help us. And so there's a lot of the relationships that we've made over all those years. Like, we keep them, and you know who the good people are. And there's people that, you know, will give us their ear when we need a little help here and there. But we've been really, really lucky with how we run it. We just try to stay really, really conservative, which is the only time I'll ever use that term, I guess. But we stay good with that kind of thing.
So how did the Holy Mountain thing? How did you guys hook up with him? Was it a relationship thing that?
Well, so it's really, really strange. Danny, the guy that runs the company, he reached out to us. We thought it was like kind of a joke and a weird thing. Like, we're like, I don't know, this is some weird whatever. We don't know if it's so. But I got like a Facebook message from him, and then I didn't realize who Danny was. So it was like, we saw this thing and we're like, maybe this will work, because, you know, he's offering this amount for like, if we just do some t-shirts with them. And this is when Holy Mountain was like just starting to kind of get moving. And then Danny we had a call with him. And then you know, through our talk, we realized Danny, there was a band out of North Carolina, and I'm so terrible with the names. I forgot the name of it again. I can't believe I can't remember the band name. And they were sick. They were such a sick band. But Danny was like he was like their merch tour manager for one of the tours that they played with Chapter. So this is way back in Chapter.
Oh, wow.
And Danny did a zine and did an interview with Chapter in that zine. So it goes like, that relationship goes all the way back to them. Oh God, I can't believe I forgot the band name again. See, COVID. But so yeah, he told me that, he's like, I met you here, and I'm like, oh my God, I totally remember all of that. And I even have the zine he did our interview in, like the zine he'd made. I'm like, I know exactly where it is, and I like pulled it out and I'm like showing it to him. So that relationship basically started from just like, hey, we want to do some shirts for you guys. And what ends up happening is, by Danny kind of opening that up for us, we were able to sell enough through him that it was able to finance the 7-inch that started the whole thing. Because we knew, like, okay, if we do, you know, the first like year was just, we're not going to make anything. We're just going to like, everything we make dump back into it. So let's sell some shirts that'll help us pay for a recording of a song. Let's get this song out. Let's make sure it sounds good. Let's, you know, so if people hear a new song, maybe that, you know, then that moves. And then that 7-inch made the money it made. And then we just kept saving all the money from all the different things to be able to do the full length eventually. So, but it all starts from Holy Mountain putting out t-shirts. So
wow. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I can't remember the band name.
Oh, it's not Spitfire, is it? Were they from that?
No, they were.
Okay.
And I love Spitfire. I love it. Oh God, I love those guys. But no, Spitfire was like Virginia based, I think.
That's right.
But it was, here's the thing, if I tell you that, if I can remember the name, you're gonna know who I'm talking about for sure. Because it was like, it's gonna kill me. If I might actually text him after we're off, and then I'll let you know, because it's like this is the second interview I did where I forgot this band name. So So, but yeah, so that's how that started. Just like out of the blue, like, hey, we want to do this because we like what you guys do. And that's another thing that's awesome. Like, it's hard to like. Danny came to us because he was a fan of the band. But what ends up happening is, we were a fan of what he does. So there's never like fans to us anymore.
Right.
I don't know if it's like you become friends with everybody. Like I don't even look at like there's a couple dudes that like keep up with us on all the socials that like I know them by name now. And they were like fans that like reached out to us, and I don't even like if we're in their town, I'm like, hey, guest list, because it doesn't matter. You guys like
Right.
like I don't so it was weird. Danny was like a fan, but it's awesome how that like becomes like a super close friendship. And now like we've worked with him for how long, and we have no interest of ever working with anybody but Danny. So
Right. That's the cool thing about the Facebook group, the web. That is,
I love it.
And just the circle and the conversations, and somebody was posting stuff about they had all your old 7-inches from all your old bands. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. And then I remembered, I've got this one.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I was like, I forgot I had that. So I had to come home and find it when I got off work. And I was like,
I love that. Yeah. I'm super excited because like next weekend is that Sincerity Fest thing.
Oh yeah.
So like that's gonna be like a weird brain melt to see Abnegation playing again, and just around all those people, because it's just gonna be like a huge family reunion.
Yeah,
like Race
awesome.
Trader, like dude,
I know.
Chapter played with Race Trader, like it's craziness. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's cool how like the internet has developed like another circle, because you have the local town bands become a circle, then you start touring, and then there's a circle. Now the internet has a whole separate identity, which brings together friendship and a bunch of different things like the Holy Mountain. That's pretty cool.
I know. Well, I love to like, and it's sad because I do understand like there's a lot of dark things that happen from Twitter and all those different things. But like, sometimes if you use things in a certain way, like they're not
right.
It's not the thing itself that's bad. Like I can't tell you how like without like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, like Zao wouldn't be anything that it's now. Like so being able to use that stuff in the way that I'm not on there getting mad about political posts. I'm just talking to my friends. And I'm so thankful for all that stuff, because it really does help bands stay kind of grounded, stay DIY. You're able to like get to certain people that will keep your band moving.
Awesome. So I think I'm allowed to ask this question.
Of course you're allowed to. You can ask anything.
Here's my question. Is the season of asking if Zao's a Christian band, has that finally ended for you guys, or do you still get hit with it a lot?
We still get hit with it. Actually, it's funny. I
thought I at least could ask that question.
You're allowed. Yeah, Mick, we'll give this one for you, bud. I did just have a pretty awesome conversation. So we're doing this Darkest Hour tour, and Bloodlet's on it, which Bloodlet's a band that I loved back in that time period too, right? So I talked to Charlie, the drummer of Bloodlet, and it actually he's like, oh, we kind of follows your band, so we know what's up. But like, when I told friends of mine that we were playing with you, they were like, oh, aren't they that? And I'm like, it's kind of fun, but it still will come up, and it's. I feel bad because I feel like I'm the worst catalyst of what has made it where it is now. but like, I hope people never think that we're offended, or like that would anger us in any way that people ask that question. I mean, I think it's super important. Like it was what was, the main primary focus to get the band to exist. And I think we talked about this before, Mick, and I think you actually said it, but like, I love the idea that regardless of like where those affiliations have landed now,
Right.
there's still hope in what we do.
Right.
And I think it was you, because I remember
Yeah.
us talking about it, and to some of you guys, and that was a pretty like heartfelt thing for all of us to hear. But like, you know, because even with Sean, the way because Sean's probably still the furthest in that world, but like
Right.
that it was the understanding that there's like, you know, as a band, there's the hope, even like the Christian thing or the spirit filled thing. I think that might be a better way to put what you guys were.
Right.
So spirit filled thing, even though the band is morphed, there's the same hope that was in the spirit filled thing as still exists today. Because like, you know, especially with the way Dan writes his lyrics,
Right.
He, you know, as dark as they get, he's always trying to just give people what he has done or how he's experienced it and what he uses to help himself out of those situations. So, and that's never going to change. You know, that's
right.
Dan's, there's always going to be, you know, what he's either going to be singing about like what he sees, his observations, or he's going to be singing about like some weird metaphysical, fun, doomy stuff.
Right.
but yeah. So, but do you want me? I mean, do you have that? You know that we're not.
Right. Right. No.
But
no.
You're
no.
just asking. Okay.
I'm just asking if you keep. Yeah. I'm
if
just
we
asking.
still keep getting it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's not like it used to be. I mean.
Okay.
And to be fair, like I think that it's a very warranted question to some people, and I do think that if that's a huge component of why you'd want to listen to Zao, then you definitely shouldn't listen to Zao now. But that doesn't mean you should get rid of what Zao was before. So like, please, like Splinter and Blood and Fire, those two records, that should be your Zao, and we're totally happy and comfortable that that's the Zao you want.
Right. And you guys, and that's the crazy thing. You guys have always had that attitude. It's never been like it's all you guys have always been like
well, dude,
that. So.
That like even for me, like when I deconstructed out of all of that stuff, I never did it angrily. Like I'm not mad. Like I didn't do it because like I felt slighted by. I mean, and two, like as a non-believing person, most of that doesn't like it by no means comes from. If there's a good like the God itself, because like I don't think he's there, and I'm not angry at like any of the churches that have treated me in a weird way. Like I've came to that place.
Right.
So I think that there are people that for some reason have been wronged. So then they come at it really angrily, and they don't. You know, there's some sort of chip on their shoulder on like they want to kind of get rid of it.
Right.
And I don't want to get rid of it. Like I just don't, you know, like that's crazy. Like, so, you know,
yeah, it's really, and the crazy thing is like, I can't speak for everybody else from old school, but like for me, I know walking through the process of deconstruction, even listening and even going back and listening to some of the stuff that Zao has put out, it's actually kind of helped me with that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Walking through like the process and seeing things and being able to look at things differently and seeing things. It's been very helpful to even fall in love with even hardcore again, and even playing music again. That's kind of really helped that process. So yeah, it's just really weird, and because sometimes I'll hear somebody say something, I'm like, oh, but if you only knew, like even out of like my time going from Splinter and then leaving and then Blood and Fire coming out and walking through that process of there was deconstruction happening there with all the guys in the band. All of us were moving in different directions. All of us were progressing towards, you know, walking out that process. And now to see it, even see where Zao is now, I know that, but yet the single thing that we always wanted to happen, even though sometimes we didn't know how to express it the right way because of what we were in, the hope was still there. We wanted to connect with human beings, to see them come to a place where like, oh, I can make it. I can get through this. I've got friends, you know, and that's still there. That never disappeared. That is always, it's still there. And especially on this new album, as doomy and scary as it sounds, some of the scariest sounding songs. There's lyrics. I'm like, how did he put that in there?
Dan Wyant.
Yes, exactly.
Dan Wyant. I know I love that. And I think too that's another thing that I've always felt was strongly pushed. Like we always make sure, like, because we're never going to be a band, because a lot of it, like this style of music, a lot of it kind of like, there's, even when there's like angry songs, there's like there's like sort of keywords that a lot of people use, and like you can just tell there's like, it's angry. Oh, we're gonna say build down or break down the wall, whatever. Like, so like Dan doesn't like ever write like that. And I feel like Dan, like, I always loved how we were this ugly, dissonant, heavy beast, and he would like talk about love all the time. Like there would be love in a lot of the lyrics. And then I think that's kind of like too, like how the original Zayo sort of, we still kind of talk about that same stuff, like loving everybody, like whatever. If that first Spirit-filled stuff was about the love of Jesus, then like we're like, well, it's just, we just have morphed into just love, right?
Right. Awesome.
It'd be cool sometime if I don't know if you would do it, but if Cornerstone did come back someday, to see Zayo come out and just rip it again, because I watch those videos all the time, and I'm like, dude, you guys like killed it back then. Like,
well, to be totally honest, I feel like Furnace Fest does Cornerstone better than Cornerstone could now.
Right. Yeah.
And Furnace, that first year, now I don't know, because I know that every year I don't know if they're going to like have different bands every year, if they're going to ask us to play again or whatever it was. But that first year, there were, I mean, with Chad Johnson involved, it felt like that. It felt like how that kind of stuff worked.
Right.
Because like that was the one thing about Cornerstone that I loved as a festival. And that's what I loved about Furnace Fest back then. And what they did this time, which was really impressive, is that like they didn't separate fan from band. Like it didn't feel, like don't go there and you don't feel like, oh, I can't talk to the band. Because Cornerstone, all the band dudes would walk around. We were at the merch tables. The biggest, I mean, some of the biggest guys that were on the main stages, maybe you wouldn't see them, but you would still probably see them. Right. And Furnace Fest, I was worried about that, because I'm like, okay, well, they are going to get some of these bands that are slightly bigger. And really what it boils down to is the band too. Like, is the band think they're too cool for school that they can't walk around or whatever? But I feel like Furnace, like it felt like that to me. Right. So hopefully what'll happen is Furnace Fest can kind of like be the festival that brings that. Cause I mean, Furnace Fest they always have tooth and nail bands, and they really focus on them. I mean, like, look, like when Beloved played, there's like Living Sacrifice played that first year with us. With Hope's Fall, like so many of that era of great bands, like they're going to be on Furnace Fest, and they're going to be there every year. So
I think the last year was so important too, after everything that everyone's gone through, and it just had this like a different feeling, because the bands needed it just as much as the people watching the bands play needed it,
well, that and it's almost unfair, because it was so on another level when that, like, being there, because like you just said, there was that on top of it just being awesome. It was the first thing that came back in that size that was like that, and you could feel it there. You could feel this special, unbelievable, just like overwhelming feeling of like, we're back, and like and it was like, I could, like, walking around that festival was it was like everybody, you just stopped to talk to everybody, and you saw everybody that you would want to see. And it was, I mean, it was crazy, but it was so needed. You're right. It felt, it was so incredible.
It's awesome.
All right. So we're going to shift to the other part
Okay,
podcast,
cool.
and that's coffee.
Oh yes.
So I know you love coffee.
Mhm.
So tell us some of the. You can either talk about places you like to get stuff from, or shops you go to, or just coffee in general. What's your go? Let's start with this. What's your go-to?
So my go-to, which is crazy, my go-to is Aldi's has a Peru blend
Yeah.
that is very inexpensive and unbelievably good. I can't explain it. So because like all of that stuff is just garbage all the time.
Right.
So I get it's a Peru blend from Aldi's that is like, I obviously grind my own beans because that's
Right.
to me, I just ground coffee is not coffee. I need to
Right.
I need to grind that bean and get my face into it. So that's like that's my average every day. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this. I know I can get it. It's pretty easy. But there have been a couple different roasters that did some Zao coffees. And we did one with well, we've done a couple now with there's a place out of Pittsburgh called Black Forge. And so Ashley like owns the company, but I think she's gone through like one or two different roasters, but every roast that they've done for us has been incredible. All of her roasts are great. They get all the cool ideas for how to roast them, and then they come up with all these different things. The one that we did was like a medium blend that had like hints of like chocolate and almond in it. And I'm just like a straight coffee guy. Like I don't do any of the latte stuff. I just do give me black coffee or give me a little bit of cream and some sweet and low or something. So, but yeah, so the Black Forge is kind of probably my like higher end, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a bag for $20. This is probably the guys I'm gonna order it from.
Awesome. I think in the past I've had them before. I didn't get the Zao coffee, but I'm pretty sure in Pittsburgh one time I've gotten some stuff from them, and it was
they have so many good blends. And I'm more of a medium roast guy just because I don't know, like the dark roasts always you have to be, because as you guys know, like you can burn that stuff pretty easy.
Right.
So it's like, man, you better know what you're doing with the blends. And medium, right. Like one, you're keeping a lot more your caffeine intake from the medium to the light roasts or whatever. And so the medium roast is like just dark enough for me, and it keeps the caffeine kicking. Because like, I don't know how you guys are now, but like I'll do like 4 or 5 cups of coffee and I don't even feel it anymore.
Yep.
Like I'm drinking at like 9 at night. I'm like,
yes.
I'm still me. I'm falling right asleep. It doesn't even matter.
As soon as you miss one though, it's like all done.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like I can drink all of them and it doesn't do anything, but yeah, you don't drink it. Like that's, dude, with COVID, I swear I was going through some weird withdrawal. That probably was part of the problem. Not having the coffee for
not even having coffee.
Yeah.
I like dark roast like at night, like, you know,
yeah,
like get a good mix and kind of make it a little sweet, so it's kind of like a dessert. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
No, I'm with you on that.
We always joke because Wiley can't have dark roast because he shits his pants when he does. So
hey, dude, I can't say that I haven't.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You need a good cleansing every once in a while.
Yes, every once in a while. Oh gosh.
And that's what coffee is an expectorant.
Yes.
Right. And I mean that kind of gets your sphincter muscles moving.
That's right.
It's like I love
it. So what do you guys have coming up? Are we allowed to know what you have coming up? So I know you guys are getting ready to tour and stuff, but like is there any music coming out?
Well, me and Jeff talked today. So there are probably like maybe 4 or 5 demos of like songs kind of floating around. Everybody right now is pretty like close knit. Like Russ at one time was living in like Huntington Beach, California. So it was a little hard to kind of write, but he's been living in Pittsburgh for the last couple of years. and then Marty and Dan all live. Me, Marty, and Dan kind of live basically suburb of Pittsburgh, and then Jeff's in Brooklyn, but it's only 5-6 hour drive.
Right.
And so what we were hoping for, so we have that Sincerity Fest, and we're going to take like next week for rehearsals. So we'll maybe mess around with some new material then. But we're hoping like through the summer to have Jeff come down like periodically, like once a month, and like work on some new material. What I'd like to see, I mean, we're all like, I'm always writing. Everybody's always writing stuff. We did since we don't do a lot of touring, and when Crimson came out, we definitely wanted to try to work that record as long as we could, just because one, there's so much other material that we have that like, it's like, well, do we want to put another record out real quick? Like, let's kind of like live with this one. It's already hard to pick songs because there's, whatever. So, but we're starting to feel now like you can kind of tell as a musician, as you guys would know, that you feel like you want to have something new. So I don't know right now. There was like, when we first started back, we had just an abundance of material. So we were able to do all these different like 7 inches, and we were able to like have material for that, EP, full length. And then right when Crimson was finished, that was kind of the end of all that big abundance of material. So like everything that we have now, not really sure if we will run it that way anymore, because we might just be in the point where we're like, okay, well, we're writing for a record. And then we've kind of thrown around the ideas of doing like fun cover 7 inches, like stuff like that to kind of like release. So like, because that kind of stuff you can just do for fun, and everybody, like, you're not like, like it's not like a real like hard thing to kind of do. And if it's good enough, people should be interested, and we could, kind of like release a little bit of it, so then it would help kind of fund doing our next record. So we talked about doing that. We're throwing around some really fun ideas about what we could cover and all that kind of stuff. So that might be coming. We definitely do have intentions on, so in 21? We did a live stream of,
which was awesome.
Yeah, we had it cost a lot of money. but we did this live stream, and we always had the intention of releasing it somehow in a format, not just as a live stream. We wanted it to be like something people could actually purchase, if it's like, maybe like video component, Blu-ray, whatever, and then like maybe put it on vinyl. So that's being kind of like talked about and figured out now. So hopefully that'll come out.
I voted for that. I voted for that.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So that's going to be worked on. We do know that Tooth and Nails, basically with all the reissues, like they're going to put everything out. So we just did Liberate.
Yeah.
Splinter came out. Blood and Fire came out. And then, oh God, that Splinter record looks, I mean, I actually have, Russ gave it to me. I have the original green vinyl Splinter. So when they released that new one, I'm like, oh man, I have the original one. But then they sent me one of those, and I'm like, oh, this looks beautiful. They did such a great job with that stuff.
Yeah, they did.
So, so Parade of Chaos is going to come out. Self-titled will come out. Like all that stuff will eventually all be put on vinyl and done right. Like it's so, I'm like, that's another thing too. Like we love being involved in this stuff. So like when Splinter came out, we worked with Unoriginal Vinyl, and we worked with Tooth and Nail, and we had our guy that does the mastering. We had him master the record, remaster it, do everything to make everything sound good. You want that vinyl to be mastered for vinyl. You don't like when you use CD mastering. Some people do. It's crazy to me. So we like spend so much time making sure that everything's done right. When we did just with the Liberate one, like listening to that record, it's like a new record to me, because like the mastering totally like cleans up all the like mud that was in there. So we have our guy doing the next few releases, and hopefully I think something's going to be there. One of the reissues will be out by fall, I believe. So
That's
So
cool.
we're doing that, and then we'll just kind of start writing new material and see where that takes us. And we're doing this Darkest Hour tour. We're doing that Sincerity Fest. We got offered, which is super crazy. I don't know if you. They asked us to do this Blue Ridge Music Festival. Okay, I don't know if you guys paid attention to it or anything, but it's like,
Oh, it's
I
the
don't-
one in is it in Las Vegas?
it's Virginia. So
Virginia,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
dude, it's like Southern Virginia, and it has like, this stage with like all our scene. It's like, us, Darkest Hours doing it. There's just like everything you would think like normal, and then like Hoobastank and
Right. It's like
Carman
crazy.
5000, and like
Right.
how does I think Seether and like all these other like
Right.
huge like rock bands. I'm like, this is gonna be so weird, man. And you know how this will like I'm gonna go in the wrong area and get kicked out because you're like, oh, you can't be in by Seether's backstage.
Oh gosh.
So
And that's like a 3-day thing, isn't it? It's like crazy.
yeah, they oh no, not the COVID cough. I don't need it. I'm all right. But yeah, it's like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 3 days. People are camping out. Like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
oh, even back then, why would you camp out? Oh God, I
Right.
couldn't do it. No, like even the Cornerstone campers,
Yes.
I always saw
Horrible.
those campsites. I was like,
Yeah.
who are you people? Don't come to our show.
All right. So here's the fun question.
Okay.
We do this with everybody. What can either be a TV show or music, an album or a band or whatever, but what's your guilty pleasure? One that something would be like, I cannot believe Scott watches that or listens to that.
So I've talked to people about guilty pleasures. I don't believe in them because I think
Right.
I don't care, but I love these questions. So I'm gonna go band because like
Okay.
TV shows, I literally watch everything from the worst horror things that's ever been out to like this like stand-up comedy is one of my favorite things. I love so much. But band, I think would be shocking is I love ABBA. I love
That's awesome.
ABBA. Like literally I love like I have a greatest hits ABBA record because that's like it's easy to listen to in the car. And man, just like so many of those songs, so many of them, like because everybody like Dancing Queen, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. But Chiquitita, like, dude, there's so many good songs, and like, dude, they pump me up.
That's awesome.
And some of those early ABBA songs have like pretty rocking guitar parts in them.
That's no one has said ABBA. This is the first.
I'm
This
so
is the
glad.
first. That's
I'm so
awesome.
glad. Okay, I got to shoot it back to you guys. What's your
Okay.
guilty pleasures? Has anybody ever asked you?
They have before, yes.
Okay, all right. I need to know.
All right, I'll go first. I'll do TV show.
Okay.
I have a man crush on Stanley Tucci, and
I can understand.
I love his Searching for Italy show. Like I tell people, people will be like, "What are you doing on Sunday night?" I said, "I can't go anywhere because I have to watch Stanley Tucci as he crosses Italy and finds great food that I have to be jealous of." Like there's things he eats that I know that I will never eat, and I'm like so into it. Like
I know. Oh God, I'm such a foodie too. That would be
Yeah.
so right up my alley. I'm gonna have to
Yep.
look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
It's on CNN. It's so good. It's every
Okay.
Sunday night at like 8.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it's killer.
Wow.
All right. All
Your
right.
turn,
so,
Steven.
Give it to me.
I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but it's a different entity, I guess. So I love the old Bone Thugs and Harmony. I listen to it all day long. Like, I'm sorry,
Dude,
but
Dan
it just-
Wyant will be your
it gets
best
me.
friend. Dan Wyant loves Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my guilty pleasures, but
That's great. That's
That's
great.
awesome.
Well,
Well,
dude, I can hang with some old R&B.
oh yeah, I'll do the old hip hop stuff, like definitely
Oh,
90s
absolutely.
hip hop is like
Easy.
killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so in.
Is there anything that you want to promote before you go? Anything that you want to, like a band or anything that you want to put out there that somebody needs to check out, or anything that you got going on else that you want to push? Or
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think if there was like a band I listened to that. Dude, I kind of just listen to the same stuff. So
check out ABBA. That's who you need.
Yeah. I religiously listen to this band called Yob. I listen to them all the time. They're like, in my opinion, the best. Like, because I mean, they're considered like doom, I guess, band, but like they're so much more than a doom band. They're just, and I think all doom bands are more than doom bands, because like I think it's just kind of how people have to classify things. But Yob, if you haven't listened to Yob, listen to Yob.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thanks, man. It was so good to reconnect with you and talk and actually see you face to face, even though it's through.
I know. But isn't this great that we can do this? I'm so,
totally.
I love that we can do this. And Mick, and at any point, if we're anywhere close, honestly, we talked about even like having, since we're not super far anyway, and I've talked to Jesse about this, like doing like a big like Zayo family cookout sometime over the summer where
that'd be awesome.
Everybody that's ever been in the band, all the friends or anything, just have like this big weird like family reunion. So if we can do that, wherever we can find a place to do that, that would be pretty incredible. But yeah, at any time we're anywhere near you, you are part of the band. Come hang, any of that's great.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for creating a band that I get to still play in.
Gosh, I think the funny thing is you've been in the band longer than any of the original guys were. So it's kind of crazy, right? It's like
it's weird because like you got like there always should be love for the originators, but I am really humbled that I've been able to do this for as long as I have. I'm just a persistent jerk that won't stop. So
awesome, man. Well, once again, thank you so much, and
my pleasure.
Go Coffee, 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 coffee. Coffee, coffee.
It is coffee time, the favorite time of our show. So I gotta bring this one in because I sent the guys this. It's Slack Tide Coffee Roasters from Marshfield, Massachusetts. It's local to me.
Go
and-
Bruins!
to be honest, I saw it online because I'm a big fan of the artist Dave Quiggle. He actually designed a coffee package for them for the rap artist Atmosphere. So that's how I kind of came about them. Realized they're 2 towns away. So I went to this store and grabbed this. It's First Cast Spring Blend. What really drew me in was it's got the graham cracker flavor. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a huge fan. I like it.
Oh, really?
I don't love it.
Oh
Okay.
no!
Yeah, my wife,
Oh no!
my wife loved it, and other people that tried it loved it. But I don't know. I just feel like I saw the graham cracker. It has promenade, graham cracker, and cocoa. So I was like,
Dude,
oh,
graham crackers like makes you want it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be so good, and I felt a little disappointed. Like, it's good coffee.
Well, it's
I'm
the
not-
least
I'm not-
prominent one
yeah.
though, right?
Yeah, it is, and I'm
Yeah.
not knocking it. It's good coffee. I highly suggest you try it because everybody around me has enjoyed it. It didn't hit my spot. So yeah, they're local. They have other roasts, so I'm definitely want to try another one in the future. They make homemade fat pills and donuts. Of course, I love those. So I'll definitely go back there and check those out because they were killer. That's a killer right there.
Ding.
So yeah, but I love the packaging. It's very presentable. It's good coffee. I just didn't love it. I don't know. What'd you guys think about it? Let me know.
Wow. So I was drawn in by the graham cracker as well.
Mhm.
The first pot I made and we had here at the house, I did like it. I mean, like you, I didn't hate it, but I
Right.
liked it.
Yeah.
It kind of had that graham crackery kind of taste at the beginning, and then it followed up by like this fruity aftertaste, which was
Mhm.
confusing to me. So, I was like, well, I was like, it's all right. It's not this, it's a decent cup of coffee, but not my favorite. I don't think Lindsay was a fan of it either. I think she was like, it's all right. Okay. She just told me, no, she was not. But I did take it to work. I took what I had left. I took it to work and brewed it up for them, for those guys. And they actually like it. Like the majority, there wasn't any, like, I didn't get any thumbs down at all. They all dug it. They were like, and one guy was like, I really like the fruity aftertaste. I really like the pomegranate after, after the graham cracker. They were really into it. They drank it straight up black and they're like, I could dig this. And they ended up drinking the rest of the pot and was like, is there more? So,
Right.
So it was a hit at work.
So they like it if it's free.
Well, yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
But no, no, they were like, do you have any more at home? Can you bring some more? So yeah.
It just didn't hit my taste buds like that. Like my wife, she loved it. She loved the pomegranate. But just for me, I don't know. I was stuck on that graham cracker. I was waiting for it to pop, and there was no pop.
Yeah, so that's what I took away from it. Like, I saw graham cracker on there and I was super excited. So I brewed it at work, and actually at first I thought the coffee was burnt. Remember I texted you guys?
Yeah,
Is this
yeah,
coffee?
yeah.
Like, I think mine's burnt. And then I did a thorough cleaning of my coffee machine and remade it, and I was like, oh no, it's not burnt. It's just it's weird because the pomegranate is very present. And the cocoa gave it a burnt taste a little bit for me. And I just wanted more graham cracker. Like, that's what sold me on it. I was like, this is going to be amazing. And the graham cracker like hyped it up in my brain. And then I think when I drank it, I was like, this is good. But where's the graham cracker?
Right.
Right.
So
And they have a whole bunch of other roasts that they do too. So I'm really curious to try another one because I really think that some of those other flavors might hit me a little better. But definitely the combination for some reason just didn't. It just
yeah,
didn't do it.
pomegranate and cocoa is weird. That's a
Yeah.
weird thing to put
Yeah.
together. Because
there were,
yeah, go ahead, Mick.
I was just gonna say there was another company that sent us that we got that kind of had pomegranate and cocoa in it, and we weren't fans of it. I was a fan of the caffeine because remember I drank it and then
Yes.
ripped the carpet out of my house.
Yes, I
But-
sent you all of mine. Remember?
Yes, yeah, you
Yeah.
did. So
I was like, "You want this stuff?" but anyways, I'm drinking Slack Tide right now. It's a good cup of coffee. Like, I don't know how much this bag of coffee was, so I can't tell you. If it's like $10, I'd buy it again. If it's more, I probably wouldn't.
It was a little more than that, but I'd say it was the average a bag goes for these days.
Well, what does that mean? Because
like 17.
what? That's not average. For
Yeah,
maybe like high end coffee.
independent. I don't know.
Well, I'm drinking Big Shoulders. I got Big Shoulders coffee here that I had. I think this was like $12.99, which this is one of my favorite coffees. And then Just Coffee, I think, is like $10.99.
Mhm.
So if it was like in that range, I would buy it again,
Right.
buy it. You bought it for me originally, but
It
anyways,
was-
that's coffee
yeah.
talk, right?
it is.
fast cast.
My grandpa said, if you ain't got nothing good to say, cut coffee talk.
Good.
We out.
We out.
We out.
What's up, y'all? It's Wiley Willis. I got Leo and Big Laugh with me.
What's up? What's up?
Big Laugh from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Leo here plays bass. His band released Manic Revision in May of 2020. 4 tracks clocking in just under 8 minutes. And I also got to say that I purchased the blue vinyl record through 11 PM Records, and I love
The
it.
Blue Press. Isn't it
Blue.
sick?
Is that the first one? The first press?
I don't know. I don't keep track. I'm the last person to ask about how many pressings there are and like where our stuff goes, and I don't know anything. I'm not even in Europe right now, which is where they are.
Tell the listeners what's going on.
So, I dropped the ball super hard. You know, I blame it on Garib Indian food here in Chicago for giving me constipation and diarrhea over the span of a few weeks. So I wasn't able to get
Constipation, then diarrhea.
Then diarrhea.
Okay.
Thankfully, in that order. And then, because of that, I wasn't able to get my passport in time. So they had to fill somebody else in for bass. Shout out Sam from Armor for pulling through.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. We worked together, by the way,
This is true.
and I heard about your diarrhea / constipation,
Yeah,
and I felt for you.
it was scary, man.
It was
It's
scary.
no joke.
You went to the doctor for it, right?
I went to the doctor. I asked my manager to give me a ride there, dude, and man, it was a bummer. And you know what they said?
Yeah, I do know.
Since I'm from Wisconsin, your insurance doesn't cover this visit.
At all.
So if anybody listening to this podcast, Venmo me a few bucks.
yeah,
I
because
could
he's in
use-
Chicago right now.
Cause I'm living in Chicago now.
Yeah, he's working at the print shop.
I'm working at Belly Acres.
Boom!
Boop.
Ba-doop-bop. You got a big mouth, sucker. So I love how the music has an old school hardcore influence to it. My favorite track is No Embrace. I love the noisy guitar feedback into the riff, and then the vocalist gives that ooh, ooh, ooh
Yeah.
into the track. That's my favorite. Let's drop it now. right, cool. Yeah, that was a good track.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, let's talk about some things. Let's get into some things because I think I originally showed you the podcast because we did a review of your record, and then you came to me one day and was like, "Hey, I'll be on your podcast," and I was like, "What? Why? Really? You want to be on the podcast? That's cool."
Well, why not? I
Yeah,
just
why
thought,
not?
you know, like,
Yeah, why not? Let's talk.
I mean, it couldn't hurt, you know?
Sure.
Also, I think it's really interesting that this podcast covers this half of, like, hardcore and, like, right now. Because, I mean, growing up and, like, going to, like, shows in Milwaukee, it was a lot of that I went to. Because that's all there was, really. Like, in the burbs and,
A
like...
lot of what do you mean?
Like, hardcore, like, capital H hardcore, and, like, beatdown and, like, metalcore, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was sick because it was, like, my first exposure to it, like, live music.
So for the listeners, you're a younger guy.
Yeah.
You're 22?
I'm 20.
20?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you're 20.
Turning 21 in August.
Oh,
So
okay.
I still got a minute.
So you being a kid means what year?
What
like,
year?
Yeah, like what year? What music did you get into?
Well,
what year?
So I was first getting into punk, like, at, like, probably, like, 13, 12 years old. Because I was, I can't remember, but my first big, how old are, like, freshmen in high school?
Oh, gosh.
Wait, no, even before that, never
13?
mind. 13?
14,
So I was
don't know.
probably around, like, 12 years old. I went to the school in a neighborhood in Milwaukee called Bayview, or the school was called Humboldt Park, but it was in Bayview. And right down the street from the school is this record store called Rushmore. And Rushmore Records is the sickest spot ever. And the dude who owns it and, like, runs all the stuff there, his name is Dan. I was like, and I walked in there, my little ass, with, like, a NoFX patch and a flipped up Suicidal hat and everything, and I was like, hey man, like, what CD should I buy? And he gave me Inflammable Material and Eye Against Eye. And that, like, changed my life forever. So I was like, alright, for sure, this is it. This is what I'm hooked onto now. And his name was Dan, and he's the best. I still owe him everything. Like, if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be with any of my friends now.
Is that what got you into playing bass, too? Was
No,
that kind of music? No?
I'd been playing bass since, like, a little before that. So, because I was just, like, into, like, Green Day and stuff like that, and teachers in school would bring guitars. And it was kind of like, I don't know, like a hippie kind of school, I guess. But not really. It was, like, still public school.
Did you
but
get grades, or did you get smiley faces?
I got grades.
Okay.
They were shit grades. I was never good in school.
No, I mean, like, so they didn't have, like, stars and leaves and smiley faces
No.
and pentagrams and stuff?
No, we just had teachers who would, like, play guitar and were, like, kind of punk.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, I don't know if that's hippie or not, but
I don't know.
whatever.
I don't care.
Okay.
As long as you had fun.
It was alright, man. Public schools in Milwaukee suck. But yeah, that's how long I had been, like, since around 12 years old, going to Rushmore Records.
Cool.
And then a little after that, I had met up with these dudes in these, like, hardcore bands, like Leo McClutchy and Drew and all them that are that's still playing, like, hardcore bands now. And they would, like, I would hitch rides with them to the burbs to go to these, like, hardcore gigs, to, like, JJ's, like, basement in, like, Franklin, and they were all, like, metalcore and, like, hardcore, like, capital H, like, two-step beat-ass type music, and I thought it was sick. But then, you know, I kind of grew out of it, and I was like, alright, I don't really like this anymore. So I started listening to more, like, a lot of, like, 80s hardcore punk. It's, like, some real, I don't know, like, deep cut stuff that I was, like, really attracted to, and I thought it was great, and I thought it was the best. And I still do. And it's, like, what I listen to all the time, other than, like, soul and, like, reggae or whatever. But
So you're our old printer, by the way. You could walk in, and this is no diss to people who listen to this kind of music, but it sounds like he could be like a teenage girl in, say, the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I come out and listen.
It's like kind of like pop music and like
like
guitar Taylor Swift type.
Yes.
And I think it's funny.
And then it was funny. And then I walk out of my office and I hear you playing like skinhead reggae, and some hip hop, and just a mix of music. Maybe some Cuban music even.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was pretty cool. So you have eclectic taste.
Sure.
In music, you do.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that Big Laugh has those old school elements. Like, you can hear it. It even has some of those like old school straight edge DC bands kind
Well, that's what it was. It was really Big Laugh started with just me and Drew, and we were.
Oh, you're original.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was just me and him, and it was like us. We were both straight edge at the time too, and it was like summer and it was hot. We were like, yo, let's just start like a goofy like hardcore punk band. That sounds like Outburst and like
Sure.
like
Outburst is
old
great.
'80s
Yeah.
hardcore, like The Abused, you know. We were like, all right, for sure, let's do it. So it was just me and him. I was playing bass, he was playing guitar, and then like we tried doing everything, and then we ended up getting with these other dudes. It's a long story, but whatever. But that's how it started. It was just us two.
Yeah.
Just like being obsessed with like '80s hardcore straight edge music, like
That's-
Youth of Today and
Right. And
like
how long
Gorilla
have you guys
Biscuits.
been together now?
Like Big Laugh.
Yeah. Well, so from you and Drew starting it to now.
Oh man, this was like summer of like 2017.
Okay, you've been together for a while.
So for like a while.
Yeah. It's a good run so far.
But man, I'd like to think that like for us being a band this long, we've gotten pretty far.
Yeah, I want to talk about that if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am. I can drop it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
You're
know.
not gonna get in trouble if any of them hear it. But anyways, so let me say something.
You
right
can
now.
edit it out if you want.
No,
to.
no. You said no edits. Remember?
Man, you're right. Okay, yeah.
So let me
Fuck
drop.
it.
So let me drop this here. So Leo's band, Big Laugh. Hey, you're actually on this. Sorry to go to different.
No, you're
You guys
fine.
are actually on this comp that I have. I remember this is the first time I heard you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the Alpha Dog Underdogs Rise Above 3. Is it Rise Above?
You know what's funny about that?
Rise of the Underdogs. What's funny?
I did not. I don't.
You didn't know about
I
it?
never knew about that.
Really? I have the poster out there.
I know.
You
I
see
see it
your
all
name
the
on
time.
it?
No.
Big Laugh's the first name on it.
I don't read, dude. I don't read. Come on.
I print shirts. No, okay, so we kind of have hardcore royalty with this right now, by the way, listeners, because when I first met Leo, we were just chatting, and he's new at work, and he was like, "Yeah, our band just signed to Revelation Records," and I tried not to have my jaw hit the floor because that's like, for hardcore, that's that's like going to the NHL or the NBA. Like
That's so funny hearing that now, because when I told you, you were like, that's real cool, man, at least for hardcore. And I was like, this dude's an asshole. He's like, I can't even get like a congratulations or something, like this guy.
Well, I didn't know you. Yeah, I didn't know how you take it, or if it like go to your head. But now I know you're a cool dude.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. It's huge for hardcore. He's hardcore royalty.
Barely, man. But I mean, I thought it was like super sick. You know, like who wouldn't want to be on a label like that? That you just like grew up listening to bands like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's sick.
You're in the big leagues now, bro.
I
Enjoy
mean,
it.
for as long as we can ride.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, we're trying to ride it for a long time.
Yeah. Tell your Revelation story that you told me.
Man.
You're like,
All right, cool. So we drive. This little ass band from Milwaukee drives all the way to, I think it's in Orange County, Revelation HQ, or Santa Cruz, and we go there, and we're like geeking out about everything, you know, like we see like inside out inserts, and like original pictures and like full photos and everything, and it's crazy and it's so sick.
How is it in there? Is it small? Is it
It's
big?
like pretty. It looks well. I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It looks like a little shop in a strip mall.
Oh, here's another question. Is it open for business or is it just an online thing? Like, can you walk in and buy stuff?
I think you can walk in and buy stuff.
Okay.
But it's like the headquarters. That's like where all the.
So they have records and shirts and stuff.
They have
there?
records. They have shirts. Like everything there. They have their own screen press in there too.
Oh, cool.
When we went in there, they were like printing shirts. They were printing the shirts that we were gonna sell at the show.
Oh, really?
The same night. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
So,
we hit-
the press just like ours out here.
Yeah. Well, I think it was manual.
Okay.
It was a manual press. I
Wow,
don't know.
They do a lot of colors too.
Yeah, I don't think they do all the.
They signed out for some probably for
think
the
so.
bigger runs.
Yeah, because that wasn't a big machine.
Yeah, yeah. Was it
From what
like
I
the
can
hand
remember.
press, the little one we have out here?
Yeah. And they had like a little like small flash and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that didn't really make sense because I was like, oh my god, their sweaters and shirts may have like real intricate stuff on them sometimes.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
probably
so,
send those ones out.
Yeah, probably. But whatever, right? So
Anyways,
there,
yeah.
so we walk in and like we get introduced to everybody and we're like looking at this dude printing our shirts that we're gonna sell at the gig and it was sick. It was awesome. Honestly, it was the best. And then we're like, you know, low key in the back of our heads, like, man, can we get anything? You know, like, can
Yeah.
we get like a shirt or like, some kind of like first press record or something, you know?
Autograph record.
I know, right? Like we, you know, what?
Yeah.
We're
Judge.
a new band. Come on, let me get like a signed like Chug King record, you know, or something.
Sell it on eBay for $7,000.
Right? But man, we got a shirt, we got a Rev shirt, 2-color Rev shirt, and a few Warzone buttons.
Nice. Warzone though.
Warzone's the best.
Yeah, man.
But we were just like, regardless though, we were stoked, and Adam's the best. He's the guy that did everything, and it was awesome.
What do you mean by everything? Like signed you guys?
He signed us, he listened to us, he like looked for us, and it was great. And he
So,
invited us and everything.
How did that happen? Like, how did you guys get signed?
Man, I
You
don't know.
You don't even know.
I can't even. That's like up to
So let me. For people that don't know, you guys are pretty big. Like, 11 p.m. Records pushed you pretty hard.
Yeah, they
did the groundwork, right?
Yeah, they were like our first thing.
Yeah, like that's how I first got the record, and I actually first heard of you guys on the Underdogs thing. But if you go to any of their social media or their Bandcamp, like they push the crap out of you guys. Like it's huge.
Yeah, there was like Pat was the best doing it. That's the homie.
So did he help you guys get on Rev? Probably.
Yeah. Well, I think Rev asked Pat, and then Pat told us. I believe. I don't know, but we did ask him though. We were like, "Well, what do you think about this? You know, if we go on the Rev?" And he was like, "Go, like you should totally go for it." And we were like, "All right, fuck it." So we took it.
Yeah, that's good.
And it was the best. It was the best like thing ever. So we're super excited, and we just like finished recording a whole LP for him.
Oh yeah, how many songs?
Man, this is the worst questions. All right, these are. Give me some other questions.
Hardcore royalty. We have hardcore royalty with us.
And I don't know anything.
All right.
Boom! Level 80, bitches. All right, it's that time when we review some good albums. And
Great albums.
Yes, we have some good stuff. Because what's crazy is we already had like 3 albums already picked out, and then these dropped, and we were like, "What the heck? Let's do these, and then we'll save those for the next one." Like that's how crazy it is. And what I'm worried about is that there's so much good music coming out right now that we're going to keep pushing things around. So we might have to expand the album reviews, maybe. I don't know, but we got 3 killer ones. Ding. On this episode. So I'm going to go first. Is that all right, fellas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we had to review this one. Be Well. The EP Hello Sun, it dropped this month. I think this is one of the records, you know, that all of us bought, and I think we all got different variants. I think mine is the coolest. I don't know. Like that clear black and white is unbelievable. Wiley, did you get the sunrise kind of one?
I got the blue and white mix. I really like that. I don't have any records like that.
Yeah, that's pretty killer. What did you get, Steve?
I got yellow and black.
Oh yeah, you kind of got the
it's-
sunrise kind of one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, but what can I say about this? I absolutely love everything about this record. It's very it has progressed since the last record. It kind of, and when we had Aaron on and we were talking to him about this upcoming record, he was like, "Listen, guys, it's everywhere. It's all over the place, but it gels very well." And that's what I would say. It is everywhere. Like there's some Youth Crew stuff, and then it goes into like Hello Sun is definitely like this laid back, almost like windows rolled down, drive time, ballady emo song, and then it goes right back into some like hardcore-esque stuff. But what's really got me into this record is the lyrics.
So good. Stepped up their game.
Oh man, it's like the first time I heard the song Hello Sun, and which Wiley, you posted it the other day in one of your stories, and just hearing it's emotional. Like I didn't quite tear up, but it's like one of those things. Like if I had a quiet moment and I listened to that song, I probably would tear up a little bit. Like it's that it draws you in, and I feel that way about the majority of the record. Like there's not a song that I don't get into. There's not one that I dislike, and the one song that I just it just keeps bringing me back to it's the song "Only One Wish." That is a killer track right there.
Ding.
and we're gonna play it right now, and then you guys, I want to hear your thoughts. So you ready?
Let's go.
Here it comes. Only One Wish. So what did you guys think?
Go ahead,
Wiley,
Steven.
are you on
No,
me?
go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So I think Aaron touched it when we talked to him the best. For me, same as you, the lyrics. This guy is Brian, right? So he delivers lyrics that you can relate to no matter what you're going through. You think he's talking about what you're going through. So it's very well written. I love it. I fell in love with it as soon as I heard it. I think I love it just as much as the first of their release. And I think that honestly, it tells a story. I mean, let me read you the tracks. The tracks tell a story if you read it the right way. Treadless, I will leave you with this, an endless loop. Hello, son. Only one wish in the shadow of who I thought I once was.
Yeah.
That's it. I put that together today. I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Like kind of like read it down there. But yeah, the vocals, I mean, obviously the musicians are amazing. It's just a great piece of artwork. So I know Wiley loves it just as much as us. So Wiley, let us hear what you say.
Yeah, I really like the first Be Well record. And when I found out this one was only going to be 6 songs, I was a little bummed, but I know like a lot of bands are doing that now, and it makes sense because no one has attention spans anymore. But when I heard these 6, and I got it on cassette tape too, so I play that at work a lot because I have a player here at work, and it's moving. Like those vocals, his vocals on the first record are really good. He's got good things to say, but he upped his game on this, and it hits home with people, I think, who are which everyone struggles with mental health at some point in their lives. It's a fact.
Right.
And I think like he was just so raw and real and stripped down with his, like, it inspired me to be that way in my life and in my writing. Like, it's incredible how vulnerable he was with his lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the music's great, but I just can't, the music is great. The lyrics make this album so powerful. It's a great mix of lyrics and music. And
you like instantly feel like you could be friends with him. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just really like,
or you want to give him a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come here, dude. I feel
right.
you.
Right. It's cool.
Yeah. Hello, Sons. Probably my favorite, and Only One Wish.
Yeah.
Yep.
he delivers vocally too. Like he puts everything that he put into that pen when he wrote it, he delivers vocally as well. You hear
Yeah.
it, you hear the emotion in his voice, and he's just pouring out those lyrics. So yeah, man.
The whole band is just full of talent. I mean, you know, every instrument is just top notch, and he just brings it to that next level, which is pretty cool. And I'm stoked for them. I think they can be around for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not even mad that it's only 6 songs. Like,
Right.
I think it's
right.
I think it beats their first record, and it's half the songs.
Right.
So, yo, Be Well, you're doing good.
Who's next?
Me, I'm next.
All right.
So, I found out about this band through Steven, our hardcore encyclopedia here on the podcast. And he sent this to me. And I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty busy right now at the moment in my life. And you send a lot of things. I'll always make time for hockey, no matter
Right.
what. Like, we can chat hockey whenever you want, but like, you send me tons of music, which I love, but I really like, I'll listen to the ones where the cover draws my attention at this point.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, dude, the human hardcore encyclopedia has just sent me another 20 records. And I saw this Squint album cover, and it's so cool. It looks like it's like a drawing of maybe like a statue head on the ground, and
Mhm.
like it's might have been fallen for a while, and there's plants growing out of it. It's kind of chipped up, and it's like a really simple drawing, but it, for some reason, it just grabbed my attention because I don't see a lot of hardcore records like that, and it's really eye-catching to me personally. And I was like, where do I get this physical music? And you're like, oh, they got cassettes. And I went and they were sold out. You're like, I found it in another place. And so I ended up getting one. But this album, it's 5 songs. They released it in April of this year of 2022. It's like almost 10 minutes. It's like 9.5 minutes or something. And it's so good. Everything on it is, it's just, I don't know. It's weird because like that Be Well is kind of like the hardcore mix with emo, right? This is kind of like the first wave, like old school hardcore mix with emo, in my opinion. And I really love it because it's got like the emo vocals, but more, old school hardcore emo.
Yeah.
And every song just kicks so hard on this record. The drummer is phenomenal. Just everything pieces together so well on this record that anytime I get in the car and drive to work or anywhere, like that's what I put on is this record. I love it. And the thing is the intro is my favorite, I think. And it's called Squintro. And I'm like super dad core, and my dad core vibes were like, that's so awesome. They called their intro Squintro. And so I think we should drop Squintro because I think it's funny and it's great.
Do it.
Do it now.
Steven, what did you think of it?
So yeah, I mean, obviously, Squint rules. I think they're awesome. I found them from the independent label Sunday Drive. I caught them when they released something for Broken Vow, which is a Central Mass, like Connecticut hardcore band. They got some really killer artists on their label too, like Fever Child and Ease is on there. There's a bunch of others, but it's different. They have a whole bunch of different sounds coming from Sunday Drive, so definitely check them out. But Squint's cool. Like I did a little research, and I think No Pressure. There's a gentleman from No Pressure in it, and a couple other bands. They're from like the St. Louis area. But as soon as I heard Ghost, I heard the Squintro is awesome, just like Wiley said. It's amazing. But that song Ghost, I was like, whoa. Here we go. It's top notch. I think that they nailed it. It's a very unique sound to me. So it felt like it was different than everything else right now, which I love that. And it was an instant like go to. I mean, it's definitely like the albums that we're reviewing on this show. Probably like the three that I've been listening to over and over again since each has been released. So great stuff. I love, just like he said, the artwork is amazing. It fits the name Squint. I'm like, Squint, like that's just a perfect name for a band. Like I don't know, like I would have never thought of naming my band Squint, but after seeing the artwork and hearing it, and I'm just like, that's a perfect name for them. So very excited. They should be very proud of what they wrote. Great artists.
Yeah, like you guys basically said a lot of the stuff that I really dug too. The drums totally stand out on this record. I dig it a lot. But I remember when you sent it, Steven, like I was at work and I was able to actually play it through a pretty nice like PA system there at work, and I was like, oh man, this is a killer record. Oh my gosh. Being able to hear all the parts, I was like, oh yes. And it, some of the other guys, everybody that works there is musicians, so like the musicianship on this record totally drew everybody in, like, oh man. And like even the guy who's in the drum department, he's like, man, those drums, oh man, he kept talking about it. So it was so cool to first experience to hear it through something like that. But also, dude, it brought me to the band Fever Child, which I had not heard before, because the record label and all that. And I was like, oh, so yeah, like Squint and that Fever Child record, I've been listening to it a ton since you sent that. So yeah, like, yeah, it's a good record too. Like, what the heck is going on right now? We're seeing like all these crazy records are coming out. I'm like, I can't take it.
Right.
Hey Mick.
Yes.
Squint your eyes, it'll all get clear.
Oh,
I love that line.
Right.
So thank you, Steven, for sharing that record with us, because that is a favorite of mine right now.
Yeah.
Of course. And anything that I share with you guys goes into the Coffee and Hardcore playlist. So if you guys got Spotify, you can go on there and you can listen to what we listen to.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Steven, it's your turn. What you got?
I got a little band from Oakland, Discourage. They released Disaster Fatigue May 23rd, which was just a couple days ago, actually. They released it on Patient Zero, which is a Massachusetts label.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, doing great things from Western Mass. This album's amazing. I mean, it came out a couple days ago. It's been on nonstop for me.
Yep.
It is an amazing follow-up to the 2020 EP Furlong Hope.
Dude, it blows every record away.
Yes.
Yeah, it's next level fast hardcore. The mix of tracks, it's just simply it's epic. I mean, this is gonna be on everybody's list of albums of the year, and I don't know, I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, it's just a couple of days and it's just over and over. So I'm gonna give it a rating of a killer. That's
ding 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 ding.
That's 3 killers, kid. So that means I really like it. I especially love the persistent drumming on the tracks, because Matt just like hammers away, along with that thick fat bass. Like Mick knows what I'm talking about.
Why don't I know what you're talking about? Why can't I know?
Well, you got that. You know all about the vocals, because he brings it too, man. You just put those 3 together, and don't get me wrong, the guitarist is killing it as well. But those 3, for some reason, it just mixes so well. It's top notch. They definitely went to the next level with this album. And if you haven't heard it, I'm honored to share it with you. So it's a true masterpiece. So I think my favorite track that I'm not gonna pick to play is Echo Chamber. And
Why
the
aren't you
reason
picking that one?
I'm not gonna pick it because it's not the best introduction to the record.
Oh, it's a great
is-
song though.
It's a great song, but I think the best introduction is the way they had it laid out. So Asterix is what I'm gonna throw down because it's fast hardcore at its best. So I think
cool.
we let them hear that.
I respect that.
Drop it, Mick.
Here it comes.
That's some track right there.
All
Yo,
I can
I'm gonna. Oh,
you-
go ahead. Go ahead.
I
go
just
ahead,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to say that the title of the album is perfect.
It's amazing.
For what has happened in the last 2 or 3 years. It's just
Yeah, you're worn
disaster
out.
fatigue. Yeah, and I think the music fits well with that. Sorry,
Well,
I just
even
threw
that
that out.
intro. Do you know what the
Yeah.
intro's from?
No,
don't
it sounds
know.
so familiar, but I don't know what it's from.
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't
either.
I can't
But it's like
can't put
it's.
2 and 2 together.
I mean, I know it's from a movie, but it's
Yeah.
almost like, yo, this is exactly what's happening right now in the world, and this could be like he could be saying that right now, like, you know, no one's getting along, like we're all fighting, we're all sick of each other, kind of thing, or whatever he says in there.
Right.
And you know, I wanted to document this in case we don't make it. And it's like, I think that's how a lot of us feel right now. What if we don't make it?
Yeah.
You know, like it's just we're bombarded with all this crazy shit that's happening in the world, from shootings everywhere, churches, grocery stores, schools, and
Right.
COVID. And then you got crazy people on the left and crazy people on the right that are just mentally insane and telling each other, you know, their way's wrong and the way that they think is right. And it's like you're just bombarded with all this stuff, and it makes you just want to go stop and pause, like you know what I mean? It's seriously like it just fucks with your brain, and you're just like, I think so many people are just over it. It's just there's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
And we need a break. Like we all just need a break. It's just it's too much. Sorry, I went off on a rant, but
No.
it's a great album title because
Yeah.
when I heard it and when I listened to it, I'm like, this is exactly how I feel. I just feel like worn out, worn down, like mentally scraping by. Fuck. So yeah. Sorry to
Yeah.
get all like weird with you guys, but
Nah, it's the truth that you're not alone, man. I think the whole world's feeling that right now, and they
Oh,
did
for sure.
they did a great job with bringing it. You know, it's good stuff. But this music so far this year is definitely carrying us. I mean, we've been very lucky to have one after another being dropped every week, but some of these records truly get me through the week. I mean, that's what music is for me. That I'm lucky to have these artists putting it out there for us. So, it's cool stuff.
No, I agree, man. And like, we're friends with some of these guys, with these people dropping this amazing stuff, and it's crazy because we know like a few people and a few of these bands that we're reviewing, and even Mark Allen Bradley, his band Disappear, and it's like they're just putting out phenomenal records, and it blows my mind. It's like, where did this come from? And it's good because they have so much inspiration to take from right now because of everything that's going on, and my wife like comes home crying almost every other day because of the world. And we live in Chicago, which is, a crazy city on its own, and people are insane. But I agree. Like, she doesn't have that kind of stuff to get her through some of this. And it's sad, and it breaks my heart, but I have to shut down sometimes just so I can get through all this stuff that's going on. And so having this music as a soundtrack for mental health is huge.
Right.
And I agree with you, Stephen.
Big time.
Well, we just got really heavy in our album reviews, but it was good. It's true though. Like, I'm going back through in my head, like from the guests that we've had on to all the albums that we reviewed so far this season. Like, we're picking these things because it is what gets us through. It is what like from the title of the albums to the music itself, all of it is, there's a connection in there somewhere. Like, we're digging this because honestly, it's what brings sanity to everything, or it's at least something to hear because we relate to it so much. Like, okay, they get it too. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. Like, these guys see it too. And it's just, for me, it's very, very like, it just feels good in the sense of, I felt like there was a season in hardcore music where it was about like beating people up and crowd killing people. And it took a bunch of stuff in the world that happened to kind of wake everybody up. And now, like, I feel like there's stuff being put out there that can actually make a difference, at least for individuals. That makes sense. Like, for us and other, like, the grassroots kind of, like, everything up here might be fucked up, but like, grassroots wise, like, people are waking up, and I think there's a soundtrack to it. It's very weird and intense.
Sorry, guys.
A little bit of album reviews, a little bit of philosophy,
Right?
Yeah.
It's good times.
All right, let's quit this. Next segment.
All right, what's up? We got Leo part 2 of Big Laugh. So Leo approached me and he said, I don't really want this to be one of those lame interviews like the first part that we just did.
Yes, sir.
I said,
At least the first half. The rest of it was like pretty whatever, but we started off and it was pretty...
Yeah, I told him you gotta give a little fluff so people will still listen. But
yeah, come on. No one wants to hear about how we got into Revelation.
I
right?
did. I wanted to hear it.
Well, that's behind you. You don't gotta record that.
Let's do it. So, okay, he said he wanted to talk about the hardcore community, hardcore scene a little bit. And I thought it was kind of neat because I'm an old man. I'm 41. This kid's 20. So we both have different perspectives on the community or the scene or whatever you want to call it. So let's hear from Leo what he thinks about it all.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. When we were talking earlier, you said I don't want to put words in your mouth. So,
No. Go ahead.
But you said...
I was saying what?
One of the problems with the air quote scene is people taking it too serious and wearing shirts of bands that they don't really know or represent or stuff like that. I don't know if you want to get
not
into
really.
that.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. So I'll put it like this. So Big Laugh, right? When we started it, it was supposed to be like a hardcore punk band, you know?
Yes.
Like influenced from the shit that we liked, and it would have been all cool. But really, like the whole point of it was that we were both punks and hardcore kids. We both liked everything. You know, we liked like hardcore, we liked oi, we liked rock and roll and all of it. So we just, and there was like a divide in the scene in Milwaukee of punkers, you know, like hardcore punkers and then hardcore kids, you know, which sucked because we were friends with everybody. And like they didn't like seeing each other at shows and shit. I don't know why, but we were just like, you know what, screw it. Like let's just like get our punk homies to come to gigs and play like hardcore music that they can like two-step to, and then that'll drive like a whole different crowd, and then everybody will be cool, you know? Because there was always that like, I don't know, like bands, hardcore, like bands never played with different bands. They were always just like around the same like sound, which sucked, you know? Every band was sounding the same, and still does, kind of, honestly, sometimes. And it bums me out.
You're saying like on a particular show, like they'll book the show and every band will, you could close your eyes and you would
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Or you can close your eyes and next week someone will put out a demo and it'll sound exactly the same.
Sure.
You know? And it sucks because like that's not how it should be. At least I don't think so. You like, do whatever you want, play whatever you want.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because when I sent Big Laugh to Mick and Steven to listen to, Mick went and for some reason went and read some reviews first, and he's like, I shouldn't have done that. I should always listen to the music first. And one thing it said was, Big Laugh sounds different than any other band that's out there right now. And Mick was like, no, I don't think that's true. But then he went back and looked at the date, and he was like, oh, this came out in 2020. He's like, yeah, your guys' record is kind of a pioneer for that sound that's coming out a lot now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, a ton of bands are copying it now. That sound. I'm not saying like you were the very first ones to do it, but like a few years ago it wasn't popular, and now it's super popular.
Yeah.
So when he looked at the date, he was like, "Oh, I thought this came out this year, 2022 or whatever." And he's like, "Oh yeah, back then I could see like yes, that was a pioneer kind of sound."
Well, I mean that's because we were just like into the old shit, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's big now. Like people are copying that now.
I know. Which, I mean, honestly, I think it's good because you should never forget the old stuff. You should never stop listening to the old music because you're never going to be better than that, you know? It's always going to rule, no matter how old you get.
Yeah, but your stuff's going to be old someday. Like if you listen to the youth of today and Gorilla Biscuits talk in interviews, they say, like, we never thought that this was going to be what it was. We were just punk kids making music. And that's what you think about yourself right now. But, dude, you're going to be on Revelation Records. One day, someone could go back 20, 30 years from now and be like, dude, Big Laugh, they're so awesome. Like, they're pioneers of this mixing old school with new school. But you never, right now,
we don't really think about that, though,
exactly.
you know? Like, we don't really care.
You don't know.
Well, let's not talk about it then.
No, I just think that's neat to think about. Like you never think about it. Like, I have friends who are like, damn it, I had that hockey card or that shirt from that tour or that 7-inch, and they're like, I wish I would have held on to it. I never thought it would have been worth that. So it's just, we should always definitely live in the now because we never know that could be the best time,
Well, I mean, I think that like it's all taken way too seriously too.
Sure.
Like you should just be having fun with your friends, and just playing rock and roll music and just like that's what it all started off of,
Yeah,
you're not doing it just to fucking show off and impress somebody, You're doing it for yourself.
Well, yeah, there's people who are into punk and hardcore for a phase, which is fine, and then there's people who are in it forever.
Yeah.
They're old, like me, and they like punk. I was into punk when I was in high school. Operation Ivy was my favorite band.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and I started out punk,
great.
and then later on, started getting into the more palatable hardcore, like Gorilla Biscuits.
Yeah.
And then got into the more. I like new stuff too. That's why we started this podcast.
You know what's funny is that I was gonna say this too about that. Is that when I first met you, we were talking about our favorite bands.
Yeah.
And because of that, you were like, "Oh, what's your favorite band?" And I was like, "Oh, well, the Bad Brains." But it was kind of like, it kind of sucked to say that because I hadn't listened to them in like a while. But you just know that they're your favorite band.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, wait, let me actually like revisit this record. Amazing record, Band in DC.
Yeah.
Amazing record. That's timeless.
Right.
And I was just like so stoked and happy to listen to it. It felt like the first time I had listened to it.
Yeah.
In like so long.
Well, same with Operation Ivy. I probably haven't listened to that in a couple of years, but it's still my favorite.
It's so good.
Like-
it's like, and that's what's so good about it. That's
well,
what
that's
I
what's
love
good about music is you
Yeah.
put it on, it brings you back to a different time.
Yep. Like listening to Stiff Little Fingers reminds me of just like sitting on my grandma's floor and just playing CDs in her like little janky ass like
Yeah.
CD player.
See, that's cool. It brings
it's
you back
great.
to places. And Big Laugh will do that for someone someday.
I hope not, dude. You're gonna listen to this podcast and be like, "Man, this is an idiot."
No, you're not an idiot.
Uh,
But so, young guy, old guy,
yeah,
there is a divide that we know is in the scene. Young people don't really like to listen to the old guy hardcore. Old guys don't like to get, which is a stereotype, but old guys
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like to, to listen to the young guy stuff because they're stuck in their ways and stuck
Yeah.
in the old school. I know that's not the case for everybody, but that is a big thing. And
do you think that old guys are like real like discouraging of like the young dudes, young people, and like their music? You think they're all like stuck in the past?
Am I speaking for old guys here?
I mean, speak for like I don't know who you know, if you want.
I think it's hard, okay? Because can I speak for
Well,
myself?
just
Can
say-
I speak
well,
for myself real quick?
Speak for yeah.
Okay. I am 41. I quit touring when I was 30, and I toured a lot. I was in different bands, punk bands. I was actually in like a punk kind of folk band too, for a while. Like I like different kinds of music.
Yeah, I
different
know.
Stuff.
I know.
I was in with your girlfriend. What's your damage?
Yeah.
Whatever. Play drums. Anyways, it's over for me. Like I'm still doing music, but I can't be signed to Rev Records. Like it just would never work because I'm older. I have a family. I have a wife and a kid. Like I barely have time to play shows. I do the podcast so I can stay involved in newer hardcore, and so I can try to spread it out to our listening base. I'm guessing is probably older dudes, and so I think it's cool that they can hear newer hardcore.
Yeah.
And it's a place for them to hear it because I do think a lot of us are stuck in the past, and I can be too because it's always like, oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
So this is how I feel. The podcast for me is like Wayne Gretzky or Mark Messier. Like, they're not playing hockey anymore. They retired, right?
I don't know who those. They're hockey players.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky's
Okay.
like one of the most famous hockey players from the 80s and
All right.
90s. But anyways, he's the great one.
Okay.
But so I'm not saying I'm Wayne Gretzky in hardcore or anything, but so they're commentators now, right? And that's how they stay in it. Like they're on TNT and NBC or whatever the crap does it, TBS. And so that's how they stay in the game. This is how I'm staying in the game is by doing the podcast, right?
I agree.
But
yeah.
it's your
Well,
turn.
I mean, I'm saying that's good. No, I like that.
Yeah, so there's two ways of looking at it. You can get butthurt and not like the younger bands and say, well, this isn't hardcore, but things evolve.
Yeah.
If things don't evolve and they don't change, then what? They're going to put out the same Terror record
know,
every
yeah.
year? Like, no one wants to hear,
The same riffs and
No.
like the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love newer hardcore. This band named Squint, who I did their album review on this this episode. Every time I get in my car, I put that record on. It's 5 songs. I think I've listened to it 100 times already.
Wow.
It's so good.
Okay.
It's kids. It's newer,
You turned me on to Skullcrack. That band's pretty sick.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're cool.
Skullcrack's good too.
A little too on the polished side, though.
Well,
I don't know. They're still good. I like them.
you might be on the polished side now that you're on Rev.
Don't say that to me. I'm still in control of my own record, okay? I know what it sounds like, and I know it's good, Glenn.
Of course it's good. But anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Is I that's how I try to stay in the game still because, I'm a person. I know, like I live in reality. I don't try to live in dreamland. So
Yeah.
I know I'm getting old. I know I'm older. I know like I love hardcore and I want to stay in it. So talking to people like you, hanging out with people like you, and listening to new bands is how you can do it.
Yeah.
So what do you think of us old folks?
Man, I think you guys are alright, I'm just kidding. Honestly, old people, they're sick. I like them. They've never been mean or anything to me.
Sure.
I don't mind them. I just don't like when they're just real ignorant and think that it's not they still. I don't want to say like if older people, older friends, think that they still have I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I want to say that you guys want to think that you have a place in, like, the scene. But, I mean, come on, dude. Like, leave it to the new people, you know? No one wants to see you in the same, like, 4 or 5 bands that you've been in, like, over the last, like, 5 decades, you know? Like, just change it up. Get someone else to do something new, you know?
Well...
Or just, like, at least, like, talk to new kids and, like, show them cool stuff. Like, be a cool influence instead of being, like, fucking kids, this and that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And or even being like back in my day kind of stuff, you know? Like that's not helpful at all.
Right. I totally understand. Sorry, our boss made a visit into the room.
And I, totally on the clock too.
That's dadcore right there.
Yeah, that's old man hardcore right there, buddy.
Diapers for the boy.
And one for you, one for him,
that's
one for
right.
you.
Oh gosh.
Just wait. I thought I needed one of those last week.
That's right.
But no, that's what I mean though. Like, I feel like I don't know.
No, I feel you. Like, is it weird? Like, if you put on a show with your younger bands and like 40-year-old dudes show up to the show?
Well, not anymore because I know how to like not take them as serious. You know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, back then I was just real naive. And, like when I was first playing shows and like I'd talk to old people and be like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Blah blah blah, and they'd be like, "Dude, you know you're out here looking like." In the 80s and...
People would say that to you?
Yeah, they're like, oh, you got your little earring, like, back in my day, we used to rock that, too, and I'd be like, I don't care, man.
Yeah, that's...
Like, go away.
That's
like,
kind of dumb.
I don't, like, it doesn't matter to me. Just be like, alright, good set, and then that'll be it, you know? Yeah. They'd always, like, try to, like, make it seem like they were significant, you know, which, I mean, I don't want to be hurtful, but you're not really anymore. Like, just kind of, just, like, let it happen, you know, and just... I don't know. Maybe it's like a little harsh, but...
Well, it's hard. You'll know. Like, when you get older, like, nostalgia's a bitch, too. Like,
yeah.
Nostalgia hits me. Dude, look at this. We actually talked about these on the first podcast. This is what nostalgia does to old people. I bought a pair of Shaquille O'Neal basketball shoes, and I've never even worn them with the pump and everything, dude. I got freaking jersey. I got jerseys up there.
That's hard. Okay.
I've got jerseys up there, right? I've got...
See, that's badass, though.
I've got Charles Barkley. I've got the Mailman, Karl Malone.
But Glenn, you're not like the kind of like... You're not like the like drunk punk asshole at the bar that's like trying to be like...
Well, no, I don't go to bars, really.
Well, right, but just in general, though. Like, trying to talk to like the kid who just played a set, you know? Trying to be like, oh, like that was blah, 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 this and that. Like... And I'm like, all right, dude.
Well, the youth's important because it carries it on.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have someone to carry it on, then it just dies, right?
Yeah.
How fun is that?
Well, it's not fun at all. But, I mean, I will give it to some of the people, though, that were watching me, like, play in bands, and, like, hardcore bands, because they were, instead of doing that, they'd be like, yo, play this gig next week at this hardcore spot. You guys are a punk band. Play this, like, hardcore show, you know? Which is sick, because you should always mix them up. You should always keep, like, your audience excited, even though it's, like, a really boring-ass audience. You just want to put something in front of them that they might not want to see. That's what's sick about it. Even if they're your friends, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, my band... Actually, never mind. I won't call them out. I won't do it. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
All right, well, we're going to stop there.
Jump,
Yes,
It's recording or what?
it's recording.
We're live.
We're live right now.
We're good to go.
Good to go.
Yo, what's up? This is the outro of the Hardcore Podcast with Steven Stopa and Mick Cox and myself, Wiley Willis.
This is the
Good night.
end.
No,
This is the end. This is the end of the episode, and it crazy. Like seriously, we've had a ton of crazy episodes so far. This is just adding to it in this. This is a momentous season.
yeah,
Just make that big word.
yeah. No, I mean, I think like reaching out to Be Well, getting Aaron on the podcast really opened up doors for us.
It did. Yeah.
And we got Aaron on accident too. It's like we reached out to him, and what's the singer's name of Be Well?
Brian.
Brian. He was like, "Yeah, I think you should talk to Aaron because he has a roastery. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does that sound weird?
I don't know.
Roastery. And we're like, yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, this is a Coffee and Hardcore podcast. And then we find out, oh my God, like this dude was in
Right.
Converge and Bane and
Right.
like in that band with Bill Stevenson from Descendants. It's like, what? We couldn't have got a crazier, awesome guest, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
And so I think like having him on the podcast really opened up the doors to grow this thing, so thank you,
Yeah.
Aaron, of
Yeah,
Be
thanks,
Well.
Aaron. Yeah.
So that's cool.
We've been very lucky with the people we've talked to and the people that are coming up. So yeah, I feel like it's been a blessing. I mean, talking to these guys and about the work that they've done, writing the songs and everything, and the times we're going through, it's just it's pretty cool to do, and it's fun to share with people and get people talking about stuff, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And when we were off air, I was telling these guys, I'm like, dude, you know, you guys have done the last 4 episodes. So
4,
the last
yep.
4 months, yeah. And I've listened to them like, man, this is a well-oiled machine. You guys are doing good. Then I jump on here and I'm just throwing monkey wrenches at you guys and clogging this up. But I'm just excited to be talking to people again.
That's right. You've been on hiatus and not been able to talk to real humans.
No,
it's-
I've been on baby
it's-
hiatus.
It's basically baby, wife, work,
Right.
Work,
and then,
yeah.
and then start all over again. I know.
And I
those
work with
days.
2 other people, but I work like in a back room, burning and making screens. So most of the day I'm just by myself listening to music. So it's cool to be seeing you guys. That's what. Sorry, I'm like over talking, and I'm so excited, but
No, man, it's
just-
all good.
it's great to be back. I might not always be able to be on every month, and I might be able to like. I'll definitely be able to do some phone-ins, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it was kind of a struggle just to get this together with us 3.
I know it was
So-
kind of crazy, but it worked out. See,
I
It all
did.
worked
Sure.
So podcast definitely going to be you too. I'll pop on when I can. I'll give you guys some album reviews and stuff when I can. So it's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
to still be a part of it in any way I can. So thank you guys.
No problem.
Of course.
And like we always say at the end, please
Oh gosh.
like and share. Leave a review. You can put stars on the Spotify like edition of Coffee and Hardcore. And so
No one's
do
going to
it.
do that.
no, listen, do it. And here's the thing, if you're not going to leave at least 4 stars, then don't do it. Just go
Right.
away. Like, we don't need your negativity.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
people don't have they don't care enough. They're not going to do it. And the
Yeah,
only
they
reason
will.
the only reason they are going to do it is to leave tiny stars,
No,
No.
stardust.
no, they like us. They really do.
I'm going to go leave us a 1-star review right now.
Great.
Here I go.
But no, like help us spread the word, like, because we've had some crazy guests this year, and we
Right.
want to get that out there. So, and plus, all these bands that we're reviewing, like, we want to help them. We want to help get their records out. Maybe folks haven't heard this, so help us spread the word.
For
That's
sure.
why we did this, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
why we started this podcast, is because we wanted to help the hardcore scene, whatever that means, but any way that we
Right.
could. Like
Yeah.
whoever's listening to this, we want to get these records out. We want like this is how we want to stay connected with hardcore, and especially like newer hardcores. It's so important.
Right.
Like we want to push it. Everyone knows all the older bands, knows all the older stuff, which is cool to reminisce and talk about and listen to, but we got to be pushing the new stuff.
Right.
Wait a
Pushing the
minute.
youth.
Wait. So you mean this isn't to highlight the word killer?
Ding 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 ding. Killer.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do this anymore. Yeah, five killers, 4 killers, or 4 stars, 5 stars. Do it and share it.
Sure.
Like I said, put it on your parents' Facebook page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get the word out.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm Wiley Willis from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Mick Cox from Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Steven Scopa from Beantown.
That's right. Boston, go Bruins! We out of here.
Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, bullshit on. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore. Do it right. We got the double, we got the juice, we got the joke, we got reviews, we got the gold from you out the border. If you like the back, you better support them. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, bullshit on. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore. Come on, try to line.
Game 5, Avalanche Blues. Avalanche score. Blues score. It's crazy. Crowd's going wild. Everyone's doing little dances. It's insane. Okay, again, they have score tied up. The St. Louis Blues score tied up. It's all tied. Everyone's going crazy. What's going on? We're going to overtime. Game 5. All right, overtime. 7 minutes in. St. Louis scores. Oh, come on. We're going to game 6. Game 6. Game 6. Tied. 1, 2, 2. Tied. Everything's tied. There's like 5 seconds left. Colorado scores!